Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Stellar and XLM. And with that in mind, let's just dive in and let's start off with the overall price chart. So as you guys probably see, yes, I do have the chart going all the way back to the beginning of 2022 to where we are at currently speaking right now. When we look at the all-time chart on a lot of these tokens, right? One thing is very clear to me. We have this downtrend. We have, a possible bottom, right? We could still see something crazy in this market. Anything is possible. I just made a video where I was talking about how, this could very well be the start of the big run up, or we could technically have another case of, 2020. But again, the chances of something like that happening are slim to none, right? We've talked about this. Everyone is expecting the same thing. 90% of the general public is bearish right now. The macro is so uncertain. Things are this, that's, whatever. I don't really care, right? Because as we look at a lot of these tokens, I even said it multiple times, like I started accumulating during the summer of 2022 into the fall time of 2022. We go back to the summer of 2022, we're right at the same prices that we were at back then on XLM, for an example, right? Now, was I buying XLM specifically during that time? No, I was actually looking more so into HBAR, Casper, LCX, and a few other ones. But, for the most part, as we really kind of look at the space, I'm more macro, right? If you guys have been following the channel, you guys know me, I'm more macro. I love the idea of, looking forward on in 5, 10 years from now. Of course, yes, the short term does matter as well. We like to trade these cycles. We like to take profits because we are paying ourselves essentially when we are putting money in and taking money out. But that doesn't mean that we can't have a visionary like lookout on crypto, which is, hey, when are we going to see people paying their bills in crypto? Or maybe they will never be able to do that. Maybe they will just utilize the networks to be making payments through fiat without even realizing that they're using crypto technology, which is how I like to look at it. But outside of that, right, we know a lot of these tokens are extremely undervalued. XLM is one that I really kind of look at, especially when I talk about like XRP or something like that, because they're very similar, right? These are very similar tokens. But when I look at XRP, XLM, and even XDC, which I've made videos on countless times, these are three tokens that have such large use case potential that their value just doesn't even reflect it at all. We're like talking about drops of water in a bucket, if you will. When we look at XLM, it has a market cap today of about roughly almost $3.2 billion. Fully diluted, you're talking about 5.7. Let's look at some of the top tokens in this space. Okay, let's just go down the list to the top 15. At the top 15, you're already touching $5 billion nearly. When we're talking about Dogecoin, you're looking at roughly almost a $9 billion market cap. So do you think XLM today is extremely undervalued considering the fact that it is literally still under Shiba Inu? In my opinion, yes, it is. And when we look at a lot of things happening, there's been some huge updates. Recently speaking, September 26th, we've seen MoneyGram to launch non-custodial crypto wallets by quarter one, of 2024. When we talk about crypto and mass adoption, this is what you want to see. MoneyGram is obviously utilized by massive amounts of individuals worldwide every single day, and allowing users to literally tap into digital assets as an on and off ramp to and from digital assets to fiat currencies, for an example, that provides a huge stepping stone in the right direction around mass adoption. And guess what? This is all through Stellar. We know that this is all through Stellar. I keep saying the same exact thing to you guys. Whenever I talk about XLM, I say it because a lot of people are like, well, which one should I pick? XRP or XLM? I look at XLM as more so for the people, right? XRP is more so for the banks, even though, yes, technically that's not the case. We know that XRP has retail use. We know that XRP could be utilized for anyone. I just kind of like to categorize them in different areas because they're really kind of targeting the same exact thing. But Stellar is more so for the people. And I think that these developments are so clear that Stellar is more so for the people. We do see the non-custodial crypto wallet will be built on the Stellar network and hit the market in the first quarter of 2024. The wallet was created in partnership with Cheesecake Labs, what a name, right? And will use the Stellar network and MoneyGram's fiat on and off ramp services to facilitate instant transactions. There will be no charge to use it until June of 2024. Absolutely massive. This is huge. This is huge. And they're going to be leveraging stablecoin technology. And a lot of people have been asking me, like, Nick, like, where does XLM come into play with this when they're using USDC, for an example, on the Stellar network? XLM is a settlement token, essentially. That's how I look at it. So if you're moving USDC and you have to settle it even with fiat currency, XLM could facilitate that. And XLM is a great facilitator of that as well. But this is going to not only expand use case potential around digital assets, it's going to expand outreach as well. We already know that MoneyGram has been an absolute giant around Stellar. And I'm very excited for these developments because, again, this is what we need. We need easier access to and from digital assets. The user interface around crypto is still complete trash. Like, wallet technology around crypto, horrible. I mean, listen, try to explain to a normie, which is usually what I call people outside of crypto, try to explain to them how to use a ledger. It's so complicated. It's extremely hard. A wallet should be as easy as me logging into a bank app and boom, it's there, right? But it's not exactly like that. And I think that with MoneyGram and these companies like this that are more Web 2 and they're actually facilitating Web 3 adoption and trying to ease the stepping stone into and from crypto, it's a huge, great, innovation. But beyond this, we continue to see Stellar develop, move, expand. They have been making noise every single damn day in this bear market. This is what you want to see. We do see with Copper HQ, we're delighted to announce an upgrade to our integration with Stellar Org, allowing institutional clients to trade a broader range of tokens on the Stellar blockchain. We now support even more tokens like Stellar's USDC, in addition to our support for Stellar's XLM as well. Again, it's just like, this is what you want to see. Like, institutional grade trading is going to happen. Institutional grade adoption around crypto is already happening, which we will go over in this video as well. But beyond this, like, the ecosystem around Stellar has been nonstop. It's the same thing that I talk about even with XRP and the XRP ledger, outside of what Ripple is doing, obviously. But then when you combine with what Ripple is doing, like, some of these utility gems, man, it's like, it's been 24/7. It's been 24/7. And it's remarkable, to say the least, because, during previous bear markets, I mean, listen, this bear market has been rough. Don't get me wrong. It's probably one of the worst ones that we've seen so far. But in previous cycles, there's been companies that you thought were like, the next blue chip, and they just disappear. When we talk about, things happening around XLM and Stellar, or like Quant with QNT, or Casper, or Hedera, I mean, the noise has just not stopped. And I get it, right? Like, when we see developments and we're like looking at the price, it's like, what's going on with the price? Like, we're just going sideways. Like, why hasn't the price changed? And ultimately speaking, it's kind of the same exact reasoning around any token in the space. It's like, this space has barely budged at all. And retail's not even here. Like, retail does not care at all. But beyond this, like I've said, the ecosystem has been expanding greatly. We actually see cross-chain bridging happening with Ultra Stellar and Allbridge. Great partnership here. And this is all through Lobster's Wallet Connect section. This is where you could tap into Stellar and Ethereum and Polygon and CeeLo and so many other ones. It's great to see. This is great to see, because we just recently talked about this as well with the XRP ledger, right? They're expanding their sidechain to EVM. That's great, because listen, we're going into a multi-chain world. It's not, hey, this one's better than that one, this one's better than this one. Like, when we really kind of look at what's going on with this space, collaboration is crucial. So it's such a big overlooked aspect around the space. And bridging all of these ecosystems together only allows for much more diversity around use case potential, right? Meaning, hey, this Ethereum use case, it might not be able to scale on Ethereum, but with this bridge, it could actually move over to, say, for Stellar and scale easier. Like, things like that is why these cross-chain bridges are so crucial, but also it allows for assets to be moved easier. This is great. Love to see this. Incredible development. And beyond this, we talk about tokenization. So like I said, just recently, institutional grade adoption has already occurred, right? Like we're already kind of starting to see a lot of institutional grade adoption around crypto. It's something that's extremely overlooked simply because we're always kind of focused on price. Outside of what I focus on, I've actually noticed a very, very large amount of growth happening around the institutional grade side of things. And it's all through one aspect, and that's tokenization. And this report was from September 7th, and we do see tokenization new roundup or news roundup, the next trillion. This is talking about tokenized real world assets and how the financial instruments are merging with traditional finance to blockchain. And inside of this, we've seen a few things. So the story was that crypto industry heavyweights, including Coinbase, Circle, and even Avi, have built a working group to encourage others to bring traditional financial assets on chain. And this is the next $1 trillion worth of assets. Honestly, tokenization is such a huge, huge area of opportunity. I've talked about it multiple times around real estate, for an example. Great asset class. I mean, listen, real estate is untouched territory around innovation, and tapping into tokenization could truly open massive doors of opportunity, not only for the actual asset class, but also for those wanting to dive deep into it that don't have access to massive amounts of money. And this is also why we see like Boston Consultant Group talking about how tokenization and tokenized assets could ultimately hit $16 trillion within the next 7 years. Again, this is so overlooked. And beyond this, right, we know Stellar has become a leader and a pioneer around tokenization just recently. I mean, Stellar with Franklin on-chain, right? The Franklin Templeton announcement. This was the first public blockchain to host a US registered fund, and it was $270 million. And I think now it's up to like 300 million. Stellar has the most tokenized real world assets on chain. I mean, this is why I say, like, when we really kind of look at Stellar, they are paving the way around major adoption areas. And obviously, listen, like institutional grade adoption, we know that that has already occurred on multiple networks. We know that, you know, XRP has been majorly adopted by institutions. We know Hedera as well. I mean, there's so many great opportunities within this space, but XLM is a must look at because we continue to see major expansion happen. Just recently, on September 26th, we've seen Circle's EuroPeg stablecoin now available on Stellar as well, and more of this, right? Like when we talk about stablecoin adoption and stablecoin issuance on these networks, it's big because it allows for demand. When you have a lot of demand around these networks, it causes the network token, in this case XLM, to see a lot of that demand. And ultimately, guess what? When you have a small supply, which Stellar does have, like 50 billion, I know that a lot of people think that like billions of tokens is like a bad thing because they're always comparing it to like Bitcoin. Let me put this into perspective. You have 50 billion tokens to accommodate for the retail sector, the institutional grade sector, and then the enterprise grade sector. Now, the retail sector, you could argue, they don't really account for much, but they are going to be the ones buying, holding, trading. Institutions are going to be utilizing that token to either one, tokenize things, lock away assets, or maybe they'll even just utilize it to bridge currencies, right? But then the enterprise grade sector is going to use the network heavily for maybe their own private use cases, or maybe even public use cases. And that's going to be, you know, highly scalable use cases. So it's going to demand a lot of the network. This is why I say, like, these networks that have 50 billion tokens, or maybe even 100 billion tokens on the high end, it's really not that much when you compare it to, you know, how much use there will be around the network. And again, are we speculating on how much use there will be at some point in time? Sure, there is, right? There's a lot of speculation around that. But when you actually read things and you read around tokenization, and then you read around, you know, cross-currency exchange and things like this, like all of it really kind of comes to light on just how early we are around this space. And it really kind of makes me look at networks like Stellar, right, that have been around for a very long time, that have been, tested and are also facilitating incredible developments, not only around tokenization, but money movement as well. Because again, these are going to be the pioneers of tomorrow when we are in a utility driven market. And you got to remember, like, when we look at XLM and we go all the way back to like the past previous cycles, we're talking about roughly like 90 cents, and then we're talking about roughly like 70 cents or so. And again, like CoinMarketCap is off on a lot of these prices, but those prices, and I even say this around XRP as well, because a lot of people say like, oh, it's 2,000 plus days since XRP hit a new all-time high, like it must be dead, right? Like it's never going to do anything. I say those prices were hit before like 99% of the developments in this market right now occurred. So think about that. Where do you think things will be when we actually have full on, and again, Stellar already has this, but like full on real world utility where it's actually massively adopted and the network is seeing massive scalable or massive scale of use? Think about that. That's what I really kind of look forward to. And we're still not there yet. We're still in a Bitcoin driven market, but I do think that in time, and this is also why I say like you have to have a visionary aspect around this market too. This is also why I always keep like a moon bag of a lot of these tokens I just will not touch, is because you never know what the future holds within the space. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys have more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Peace out, guys.